Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make the most cute little makeup bag. I used 4 granny squares to make this, and I'm also going to be showing you how to make the base along the outside and obviously the frilly edge if you do want to add the frills. I'm not going to be showing you how to make the lining and the zip in this video, but I will leave a tutorial in the description box that shows you exactly how to do that. In this video I'll be showing you how to make the red and white one. So for the materials I just used some white yarn. This is the Women's Institute yarn from Hobbycraft, which I'll link in the description box. And then I also obviously used some red, which I haven't got much left of now. You're also going to need some scissors and a 4mm tapestry, 4mm hook and a tapestry needle. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to give it a like and subscribe, and yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is make our granny square. So in order to do this, you want to grab your red yarn, whatever yarn you're using. Make a slip knot. Make a magic ring, so I just chain 4. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the very first stitch. From there we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to make 12 double crochets inside that magic ring. And now we're going to start to make our heart shape. So the first thing you're going to want to do is skip a stitch and then do 8 triple crochets into that next stitch. So we're going to skip this stitch here, and we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going into this stitch here. So the one after the skipped stitch, we're going to go through, we're going to yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and yarn over, go through 2. And we're going to do this 7 more times into that same stitch. Once you've done 8 triple crochets, we're then going to do a double crochet into that next stitch. Then a double crochet into the next one. And in the same stitch we're going to do a half double crochet. Then we're going to do 2 half double crochets into the next one. And then the next stitch we're going to do a half double crochet and a double crochet. And this is now 1/2 of your heart, and then we're going to literally just mirror this on the exact same side. So we're going to chain 1. We're going to do a double crochet and a half double crochet in the same stitch. We're going to do 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. And then we're going to do a half double crochet and a double crochet. Then the next stitch we're going to do a double crochet, and then in the stitch after that we're going to again yarn over twice, and we're going to do 8 triple crochets into that next stitch. Once you've done 8 treble crochets, we're then just going to skip this first stitch here and we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Then we can chain 1 and we can now fasten off the heart. And there we go, there's our little heart all done. We're going to attach on our white yarn, so we're going to pop our hook through the stitch just before the chain 1. So this is the chain 1 here, we're going to go into this stitch. Grab our white, pull that through, then we can chain 1. And we're going to do a single crochet into the same stitch. Then we're going to slip stitch into the back loop of the next stitch, so it'll just be this chain here. So we're going to go into the back loop, be a little bit tight, and we're going to do a slip stitch into there. Then we're going to do another single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. Then in the same stitch we're going to do a double crochet, a treble crochet, and then chain 3. And now we're forming the first corner, so in the next stitch you want to do a treble crochet, and a double crochet. And this is our first corner here. We're going to continue this for 3 more, so we have 4 in total. So moving on to the next stitch, we're just going to do a double crochet, then the following stitch we're going to do a half double crochet and a single crochet. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next, followed by 2 single crochet into the next. Then in the next stitch we're going to do a half double crochet, and in this next stitch we're going to form our next corner, so we're going to do a half double crochet and a double crochet into the same stitch, and then we're going to chain 3. Then to create that second corner we're going to do a double crochet and half double crochet into the same stitch. Then we're going to do 2 half double crochets, so that's 1, and then in the next stitch another half double crochet. Then we're going to do a double crochet, and then in the next stitch we're going to do a triple crochet, so it's going to be this middle gap here we're going to go into with a treble crochet, now we're going to do a double crochet, and 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2 into the next one. And now we're going to make our next corner, so again we're doing a half double crochet, a double crochet, into that same stitch, and then chain 3, and a double crochet, and half double crochet into the next stitch. So we've got our third corner there. Now we're going to do a half double crochet, single crochets into the same stitch, another single crochet, a single crochet and a half double crochet into the same stitch. Then we're going to do a double crochet and then make our last corner. So one double crochet, a triple crochet into the same stitch, and then chain 3, and then we're going to do a double crochet, and a half double crochet into that last stitch. Then for round 4 we're going to do a chain 2 and then double crochet into every stitch around. So just one double crochet into every stitch, and then I'll meet you back when we get to the corner. Okay, so now that I've made it to the corner space, this big space here where we did the chain 3, we're then going to do a double crochet inside this space and another one, and then we're going to do a chain 3 and then 2 more double crochets. And there we go, there's one corner done. So you want to just continue doing this. So we're just going to carry on doing 1 double crochets in every stitch. And then once you get to the corner, we're going to do 2 double crochets, a chain 3 and 2 more double crochets. Okay, so once you've got to the end, we're then going to just slip stitch into that first stitch. And then we're going to change the reds. So just pull through the reds. And we can then fasten off our whites. And now we're going to be working with our red again to make another border. So we're first going to just chain 2 again. I'm also going to be working these loose ends in, so I've got less to weave in at the ends. So we're just going to do another round of double crochets. So just 1 double crochet in every stitch. Once we've got to the corner space, all we're going to do is 4 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're just going to continue this pattern until the end. So again, just 1 double crochet around the edges, and then in the corners we're doing 4 double crochets. Once you've finished doing your red border all the way around, we're then just going to slip stitch into that first stitch, and we can then chain 1 and fasten off. Pull that through. And there we go, there is 1 granny square all done. We're then going to continue to do these granny squares until we have 4 in total, so I'll meet you back once you've done 4 of these. Okay, so once we've made 4 granny squares in total, we're then going to attach the granny squares together to make the panels. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to thread our yarn through these 2 granny squares to attach them together, so I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so in order to attach the granny squares together, we're first going to find that first double crochet that we made into the same stitch, so this one here. So it's the first double crochet from this corner stitch. We're going to go into the back loop of this, and then we're going to find the front loop of the first one that we made on the other granny square. So we're going through like this with our needle, and then for the next stitches we're going to do through the front loop and the back loop, thread that through, and then we're just continuing this all the way along. So we're going into the opposite stitches to attach these two granny squares together. So through the front loop of the back granny square and the back loop of the front one, if that makes sense. So basically the two loops that are closest together, thread them through that. Once we've got to the end of the bottom corner, we're again going to go into the last double crochet and the last double crochet on this panel, and that will be our last stitch we're going to go into. And there we go, there is two granny squares joined together like so. I'm also just weaving through this yarn once we've finished by just going back through the stitches that we've just made in the middle. So I'm just going through like this, and we're just pulling the yarn, and then once we're happy with the amount that's been weaved in, we can just cut this off to finish. And that should stay like that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to make a couple of rows just to add a bit of height to the panel. So we're just going to attach our yarn into that corner again. So we're going back into the first double crochet that we made in this corner space. We're going to attach our yarn, and then we're going to chain two. Then we're going to turn, and now all we're going to do is just do one double crochet into every stitch. So I'm just going to that next stitch. Oops. I'm just going into that next stitch with a double crochet. And then we're just going to continue to do double crochets. And you should form just a row of double crochets that aligns with the panel. You can see we're getting some more height to the panel now. So I continued doing this for another 3 rounds until I was happy. So once you finish this first panel, we're then just going to continue on with the next panel. So we're just going to do the exact same thing we did. For this one, we're going to attach the granny squares, and then we're going to do 4 total rows of double crochets. So I'll meet you back when we have done these 2 panels the same. Okay, so now that we're just finishing off with that second panel, we can now just chain 1 and fasten off. And then we have our 2 panels here. So, and there we go, we have our 2 panels all done, and we can now attach these together. So we're going to be making a big long strip that is going to go around the outside of the panels. So similar to this one that I made, we're now going to be making the strip that attaches the 2 panels together. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is chain 12, and then we're going into that 3rd stitch from our hook. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do a double crochet. And then we're going to continue doing double crochets all the way along the row. You should have 10 double crochets by the ends. Then once we get to the end of the row, we're then going to just chain 2, turn our work, and then continue to just do double crochets into the 10 stitches. And we're going to continue doing this until we have a big long strip that we're happy with. Your strip should measure around 15 inches or 40 centimeters in length. So just continue to do this until you have the appropriate length for your makeup bag, and then I will meet you back to assemble it. Okay, so once you've done your strip, I made 50 rows in total for mine. We can now just chain 1 and then fasten off. And now we're going to attach this on. And then all I'm doing from there is I'm going to align my strip with the good side like this, so the bad side is facing outwards. And all I'm doing is I'm just threading my needle through the gap and the back loops of the stitches. So just taking I'm just going into the loop and then through the weights, and we're just making a little stitch with our needle. You can also do this by slip stitches as well if you want to. And yeah, we're just going to keep joining these together all the way around. Yeah, once we get to the corners, we're just going to do the exact same thing. So we're just taking our needle through a white loop and then through the red back loop of the panel, and just continuing this all the way along. Once you've attached one panel, should look like this. We're now going to repeat it on the other side, so we're just going to do the next panel, bad side facing up, and we're going to sew the sides together like this. So we're just going to line it up and then sew all around. And yeah, I'll meet you back once I've done that. Once you've attached on the strip and both panels are on, all you need to do now is turn the makeup bag inside out. Like so. I'm going to just weave in these ends. But if you do want to add a line into this as well, you don't really have to weave in the ends. Because obviously they'll be behind the lining. But if not, then weave in the ends and then I'll meet you back at the next step. And then all we're going to do now is make a lining around. So I'm just going to attach my yarn into that first stitch of the red panel. Then we're going to chain 1. And we're just going to do a single crochet in every stitch around. So just continue to do a single crochet all the way around the makeup bag. Once we're nearly at the end, now I'm just going to do my last single crochet, and then we can slip stitch into that first stitch and chain 1. And now you can just fasten off here and finish with just single crochets around, but I'm going to do some frills. I'll show you how to do that. So in order to make this frilly edge like I've done for the pink one, we're first just going to chain 2, and then into that same stitch we're going to do 5 double crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're just going to continue this, so another 5 double crochets into the next stitch. And as you can see, it starts to create this little frill pattern, and the more double crochets you do, the frillier it will be. So I just stuck with 5, but if you want it to be less frillier or more frilly, you can do more or less double crochets inside the stitch. But I'm just doing 5 for mine, and I'm just continuing all the way around, and I'll meet you back once I'm done. Once you finish doing frills all the way around, your bag is pretty much done. So it should look like this. And all you have to do now is just add a lining and a zip, which I'm not going to show you in this video, but I will link a tutorial on how to add the lining and a zip to the bag. But yeah, that is your bag pretty much done.